right now.
Right.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the American Legion Show. Your host, Kevin White. Here we go. Blog Talk Radio, PNR Public Radio. Nope. It is Patriot Nation Radio. This is not our whatever it is they call that crazy radio station, or whatever. So anyway, welcome to the program. This is Kevin White, your host again. Welcome back. Didn't make it out Wednesday. Had issues going on, and we had something. Anyway, but we got our book, both our book, Brody Loses Weight, the print version and the other version. What is it? The ebook. They're both launched today. We are so happy this has happened. A little bit of glitches here and there, and so our marketing team is working on that, and we're going to put this book out. And Brody is a dog that needs to lose weight. So I'm asking you guys if you like to. The link is on my page. You can go there and order the book or the ebook. They're not that expensive or anything, but it's a really good lesson for children. And I think we have 5 or 6 children's books now we put out. And also working on other projects, and we're getting people coming in asking to be authors on our page, our company. So Brownie Fox Publishing, and I'm going to put that up there real quick. There we go. Brownie Fox Publishing. So if you want to submit any works, just write us at browniefoxpublishing@gmail.com, and we will look at your work, and you'll get emails from us, join our email list. And pretty soon we'll have our list is going to expand, it's going to grow. And that's the whole business of the business, right? That's what you do to make money and impact on the community. So this book is a minority book. I think I might have a picture. Oh, I'm not going to do that yet. I think I did that last week, so we're good. But just take a look at my page or look at Brody Loses Weight on Amazon. It's on there now. It's also on Ingram Spark, different places. And we look forward to people enjoying this book. And the way this came together was pretty amazing. So another book we wrote was a children's book. Actually, that author met the author of this book down in Alabama. She's from Alabama. And she bought the book, and then she contacted us through our contacts. So we're happy that she did. And this is a great moment for her and for us, for the whole team. It takes a lot of teamwork to put one of these books together. But I digress, because our guest tonight is Mr. Anthony Blaq from New York City. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you. All right.
How are you doing today? How's it going? What's it like there in New York City right now? What's the weather?
Oh, the weather is kind of cloudy. It looks like it's about to rain. But other than that, it's a great city. It's just that we're dealing with a lot here. Migrant issues, cost of living, and what can I say? People are doing what they have to do to survive. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, I love New York. I've been there a few times. I spent like a whole week there, and I got to go into the World Trade Center, one of them. This is way back before you were born, back in '88.
All right.
But I love it. I like the food, real food there. A lot of different things you can see, but I'm sure things have changed quite a bit since then, and since last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, things have changed. There's no more strip malls at Penn Station.
Really?
No, there isn't. It's just boarded up. It's just a big long hallway now.
Really?
Basically, things are getting a little bit more expensive, and parts of stores in Queens have closed down. Walgreens, there's Walgreens in Jamaica Avenue, and there's other various places that are closing down. So it's times are changing, man.
So what about was it Grand Central Station?
Yes.
Right?
No, that was Penn Station.
How is Grand Central Station doing?
Last time I checked, it's pretty cool. It's pretty normal. Very old fashioned.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me, I know there's an influx of illegals what people
Right.
call immigrants.
Right. They're basically taking over. They've had a police headquarters, I believe. They they put the migrants in there now.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know, man. And also the fact of the matter is, basically they have, they had hotels that would have homeless people and homeless veterans, and they took the veterans out and put the migrants in there.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. I can't get past that because the veterans have done something. They earned, they sacrificed their careers or lives away from their families and everything. And then you take them out for people who have nothing to do with this country. I have a problem.
I don't know what to say, man. I mean, the American government has always been screwing over the veterans.
Right.
They've always have.
Yeah.
But it's like this right now. There's even reports of the fact that migrants are being enlisted. They're being enlisted to be police officers in some states. There's also the fact people have said that these migrants, some of them are fighting age. There are more young men coming over than there are people with families. And you can see the political aspect of it. The reason why they're having all these migrants coming over is because they know the American people don't want Biden in office anymore.
Right.
So they're basically trying to get all these illegals to vote Democrat, give them all this free stuff, literally giving dollars. People are hungry. American families are hungry, and you're giving that money to them.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like the problem with this whole thing is it's never going to stop. They're going to drain South America before they can get this stopped, unless somebody takes action on it. I think this is going to be there's no solution to this. There's no end. There's no way New York City can keep all these people, and they're continuing to come out. I don't know how that's going to work out. And the mayor, Eric Adams, is insane.
Yeah, he's insane, and now he wants to cry about it, but you were for it in the beginning. And now, they're going to try and have New Yorkers house these migrants now.
Right. Yeah.
They're going to try and do that.
So who's going to do that? I know they try to pay like $500 a month yeah.
But that's not going to happen, man. I mean, people are going to fight against it. You're going to have to force that on people.
Yeah, that's probably why a lot of people left too. There's a lot of people who left New York City.
Right.
So I don't blame them. I mean, I know that I heard the stat was Staten Island crime is up 300% and that was last year. And then kids have like lice in their heads, in their hair, whatever. And people are getting infected by things that they've never seen before.
They're not screening them either. They are not screening them for any diseases. You're not checking background checks if they could be criminals. They're just bringing them over here. And they're also they're having these minors work in bars. You're having them work in butcher shops.
Wow.
Big brand retail companies are having these migrants work in these type of industries for cheap labor.
Yeah, I was going to say next to nothing, I'm sure.
Right. Next to nothing. And I see this as a really bad situation because this could cause an economic and a race war, because you have these migrants coming over with different perceptions of blacks. I don't know if you could probably look up an article in the LA Times about how a black warehouse worker was harassed by Spanish migrants.
Wow. Yeah.
And the migrants thought it was funny, but you're bringing all types of people here that are not screened and not checked illegally. So they have nothing to lose. Okay?
I have some insight on that, on how they treat blacks. Because when I was in Panama, I've been down there a couple of times. The blacks are a subclass of citizen, and they're darker than most people, and they are not treated very well. So it's like that's like all over the world. That's the case, kind of. So, but I do know that's probably why, because they probably see us as blacks as inferior not everybody, but it's a cultural thing, and they call them Negritos or something to do with that. They have a name for them. When they have a name for you, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Just like in Australia and all those other places. Yeah, I see that even in the Middle East.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know about in the Middle East they call you adib, slave. In
Yeah,
the
wow,
Islamic cultures, and they're still having slavery there. They're still selling blacks on slave auctions in the
wow,
Middle East. And the things is like people want to be for Palestine and Israel. I say blacks don't have really a dog in this fight. They really don't,
right.
because they're hiding certain things. I mean, Israel came out like what? I think in 2012 or 2022, there was an article about how the Israeli government has now come clean with sterilizing Ethiopian Jewish women without their consent.
Wow, that's I've never heard that before. That's
Right.
crazy.
And according to, because the thing is like what the ruling class of people in Israel is the Orthodox Hasidic Jews, and they're into the Talmud. And the Talmud says that, Gentiles are, they're dogs. They're slaves. I mean, there's a lot of things people do not know about Israel, the Israeli government, how they have an order of return with rabbis. They have a huge notorious for harming kids and escaping and coming to Israel. Um, it's a lot of things, and they have this attitude, towards black Jews, and the Palestinians have a nasty way towards black Palestinians.
Really?
Yes, they
Okay.
do. I mean, Muhammad was basically he sold and bought black slaves and called them raisin heads, and even in that they have I was watching on TikTok that they have a little slave candy with the head looking like a raisin. Okay,
Wow. Whoa.
so
This
there's
is
a
deep.
lot. Yeah, it is deep. If you could look it up for yourself,
Yeah, I plan on doing that.
you know,
Wow. Oh man. Just
there's a
like
lot. Yeah.
just like here, in this
Mhm.
country, when blacks were here, when they were brought here
Mhm.
against their will, and the families are broken, and then they further broke the family back in 1960.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, and it's hard. You can't. You just don't recover from that. You don't have independence. So yeah, it is a cultural thing, but you don't have to be that way. You can move your way
Move
out of it. You
forward.
can break out of it.
Right.
So,
You could move up and make something out of yourself to get that um to get up in the world, you know.
yeah, and a
And
lot of people have, and I'm it's awesome to see that.
yeah, it
But
is.
when you got to break the culture. You got to be your own person. And I've spoken on this. You got to be your own person. You have to look out for you, not the crew. Look out for you.
Right. And that's the thing, when you decide to do that, um, you're looked upon as the enemy
Right.
within,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
within black culture. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like, black culture is not helping. And
Yes. You read my book. You sound like I read my book.
I mean, you don't have to
Oh
read a
my
book.
gosh, this
I
is
mean, the thing is,
crazy.
like, all right, before, 1930s, 20s, the black culture was, opera, Duke Ellington,
Yeah.
people like that. But now today, thanks to, white supremacy, it's now twerking, it's now booty shaking, it's single motherhood, it's drug dealing, it's
Yeah.
this
Right.
is what the culture is, and this is what you have to fight against. And this type of culture is backed by the Democratic Party and the Republican Party.
Mhm.
Democrats want to, promote this, and the Republicans want to bash all black people. Okay, they work in harmony,
The music industry.
right? And
Perfect
that the
example.
music industry helps the school to prison pipeline.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Yep. It's an honor to get your cuts and get into prison to serve a sentence. That's
Right.
just crazy.
And
And
the artists, these very artists, are producing the music that
yeah.
is, feeding the prison industry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I know some guys who went to prison and got out and they changed their lives, but no, I think that's the wrong message. I agree. Not every black, just like sometimes you watch like a lot of blacks who watch CNN as their source of news, and it's just whatever they say, they take it. Because I don't even watch TV. I very rarely watch anything on TV, and it won't be maybe it's the local news for the weather or something. But CNN is telling you things, and they're biasing so much to make you think everybody's racist. That's not black or whatever, and they have, it's just they have their own agenda. That's what I don't like about it. And clearly there is nothing wrong with January 6th. They say that. They'll say that right out. And there's nobody's been convicted. I mean, he hasn't been convicted yet. I'm not saying I'm a Trump fan. I'm not. But things that are happening, Supreme Court jump in where they're not supposed to jump in, and everything's a threat. Just my opinion, like Ketanji Brown, she got into the Supreme Court. Was she qualified? I don't think so. But it's something that you really can't put down. So there's a two-edged sword for black nominees, right? So it's not like they're gonna. So then you're gonna be called a racist if you don't vote for her. And there's somebody.
Same thing with Obama.
Yeah, right.
It's so, like that, yeah.
But there's a African American lady who's in Congress, and she always, no matter what they're talking about, she goes back to, we need to talk about real racism. It's like you're one. She doesn't do anything but talk about that. But that's, to me, that's not using your. That's like you're selling yourself short. You use your brain. You're there for a reason. You're not there to talk about race. That's everything she talks about is racism. When she gets to talk, and I'm like, you don't need to do that. Why are you in Congress if that's what all you're doing? I don't like that kind of stuff. You're just making things worse. We have to work together. You're supposed to be one team in Congress, just like the military or football team or a sports team. You work together to get the job done. And the division there by itself, and it's always about agendas. And I think it's pretty sad. And everybody's a millionaire there anyway. So
right. I think the fact of the matter is this, that her past record with how she handled the Lockheed Martin situation should have barred her. That's the way I see it. I don't know if you heard about the Lockheed Martin situation.
Talking about she's running right now. Who is that?
It was basically, there was a mass shooting by a racist, disgruntled employee because he got called out for his racism. So he came back with a gun.
Okay.
And he started shooting up everybody there at the plant.
Oh,
everybody
wow.
that was black. And she presided over the case, and she made sure that the black survivors, didn't get any compensation.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that.
Yeah.
This was in Texas, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, right now, I've also seen that she's trying to get the barbed wire taken down from the border in Texas. Yeah. So, my like I said, you have to either side. You on the Democrat side, you don't have a voice. You have to do whatever destructive habit or whatever destructive plan they have. Even you got to follow along.
Right, exactly. That's unfortunate. And I've been to that plant. I've been to that Lockheed plant. I toured it one time. That's amazing. Anything like that can happen. Okay, now we're good. So, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. So, I think, that's despicable. I heard that, and I'm like, what in the world? What kind of person does that? Who in their right mind would even think that was okay?
People are bred up on racism, but my thing is, the fact is like, you saw these people, they needed their compensation, and you as a black person decided that they didn't need it.
Yes, right.
And, the people try to explain it away that we're black, and I didn't want to hear it because I'm black, and it's sad that I could see this. I'm black, I'm black, and they don't see that this black American is going against your interest.
Right. Yeah.
I don't,
I can understand that. I mean, they think, well, they're for us. At least they did this or that. But I'm tired of that happening. Everybody, your own people. It's your own people. If you want to call it that, your own people. Why
And
would you
Brandon
feel?
Johnson, he's basically destroying Chicago
Yes.
for migrants. And what is the, you know, you don't think about what's gonna happen to your people. These people are coming over. They're gonna take over these communities, and they are going to harm a lot of Black people. There's going to be a race war. I hate to sound like some redneck white supremacist, but that is
You sound like redneck white supremacist right now.
but that's what's going to happen. I mean, you have all these people coming over here. They're not checked. They're not vetted. So you're going to have gangs coming over here, and you thought the Bloods and the Crips were bad.
Yeah.
Cartels are going to destroy Chicago.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just a matter of time before they get there.
I mean, there's always been a race war, but
yeah,
it's going to be in your face, and Black people are not going to be able to survive it. I don't think, unless they move.
No, you mentioned the mayor of Chicago. I can't remember his name. What are you talking about?
Brandon Johnson.
Have you seen the videos of the people in the neighborhoods, the Black neighborhoods, that are so upset about what's going on because they're moving them out so they can put the migrants in?
Right. Oh, whoa! I didn't. Did I see that video? I only saw like a few of them. I saw.
Yeah, I saw this one. It was like 2 hours long, and they were like going off. Well, our plan is this. Well, don't bring them in here. We don't want them here. This is our community. We don't have anything already, so you want to bring them all in here to take over our schools. You got them in our schools with the other kids, and we're having trouble. People are getting hurt out in public, and they don't even listen. They don't care. And they're paying taxes. That's their property. They live there.
Well, these people probably live in gated communities that don't care.
Right, exactly. So yeah, they said, why isn't the mayor here? Bring the mayor. So the mayor started going out, and he kept getting it all the time. And he's getting frustrated. It's like, you're not even listening. This is your people. That's what I don't get. Take care of your own people. Why are you accepting these people to come up? Because I agree with Texas and Florida. We don't want them. We're sending them out. It's not our problem, especially when they sent them to Martha's Vineyard. That was the best thing ever.
Yeah, then they got sent back. The Democrats, they were started freaking out, and they started sending them to, I believe, Kamala Harris's doorstep. That's when they started freaking out and stuff like this. But
exactly,
it only going to change if you start dumping these illegals in these Democrats' doorstep. Because one person, I believe, she was ignoring the high crime rate in the city. I forgot her name, and her husband got attacked.
Oh, wow!
Then all of a sudden, she wants to change her tune. Okay, that's what happens. They live in these nice, cushy environments, but then when these immigrants start coming, or these criminals start coming over there and start harming them, then they change their tune.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because it's in their back door. It's on their front porch, or what do you want to call it?
Mm-hmm.
And they're affected by it. But they're usually insulated. Nothing happens to them. And yeah, even on the other side, even with the BLM movement, they had a lot of issues. The people at the top were not even paying attention to the people at the bottom. And, and they bought their $1 million homes and all that stuff. So let's see, we got like David Frank. Thank you, David. And it's so interesting how they insulate themselves and they separate themselves from their own kind, from their own people, because they're the elite part of it. So $10 billion they raised in the summer of 2019 or 2021? I can't remember now. $20 billion or $10.5 billion. Not one Black person got any of the money.
No, they took it and ran. That's what happened. They took it and they ran with that money.
So then they splintered because other people or the other chapters were coming after them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to build a bank, or we're going to make some kind of library. How's that going to help anybody? They don't want that. They know you made billions of dollars. They know you made millions at least. It's just the height of. Well, they said they were Marxists, so I guess that's okay. Never mind. I take it back on what I said.
Well, you know that anybody that followed socialism, you'll understand that the only people who got rich were the leaders. Everybody else
Yeah.
was in poverty.
Animal Farm. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. This is kind of interesting when they didn't do what they said. And they hurt a lot of black business owners. And it's, I guess Marxism rises above, who you are and your morals and beating people up, just, setting things on fire. And yeah, there you go.
Well, the thing is, like with Karl Marx, Karl Marx was a Satanist. If you ever read his poem, Human Pride, he wished to rid himself of the person of above. So, most of these, Marxists and people, these people are really, they turn to evil. They're really evil people.
Yes, they are. That's that side
Lenin,
of Marxism. Yeah, you're right.
right. They say that, oh, socialism, first socialism comes. Socialism is, yeah. Remember the movie Gremlins?
Yes.
Yeah. And they get that certain type of food and then they mutate into who they really are.
Yes.
That's what it is when you take in socialism. Socialism starts out nice, warm, fuzzy, and then when they get really comfortable, they mutate into this monster, which is communism.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is, because you could even look in South America. You got women who are college professors. They have to prostitute themselves now to feed their families. College professors.
Yes, I agree.
Under socialism now have to do that. And this is what, this country is slowly going into a fascist society. Okay. They're really, because I get my news from the alternative media sources. I don't get it from mainstream, because mainstream like to lie too much. And they're trying to outlaw the internet that talks about, the stuff we're talking about with free speech. You talk about the migrant situation. You talk about how they're going to be cutting jobs, how people who are low-skilled workers, they're going to be hurting because they're going to have to be competing with foreigners who will work for half as less. Okay.
Right. Yes.
And they could possibly, they'll end up training a non-skilled worker, a foreigner, and they'll get the training from somebody like you and then kick you out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So
that's replacement. That's right. Replacement plan.
Yeah, and that replacement theory, which is happening, and it's really gonna rock a lot of people, because you see how a lot of people are turning to greed. Even when it came to the affirmative action, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it came with that was there to keep discrimination from non-whites from happening. And what happened was the Republican Party started getting into the heads of Asians and thinking, we don't need that. We could pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Now affirmative action fell down. Asians are now, you can look an article up about it too. They're flipping out because now they're having a hard time to get their kids into these Ivy League schools. But guess who's not going to have a problem with this? These white legacy students who have poor grades, but because their parents are rich,
they'll
pay the dean of the school to get their poor underachieving kids into the system, which is going to be hurting other companies in the long run, because you're now having underqualified whites because they had a silver spoon in their mouth, which is going to hurt companies. Wow. So now you're going to see how this is all going to come together as tyranny is going to take over.
Wow. I see that now. It's very interesting.
It is.
But there's going to be, I think there might be, it's going to cause a lot of friction when that happens. And it is. I think, so you really don't know. I think people are going to band together that were never together before, because this is getting ridiculous. They're, even the prisoners don't, it's just so many things we don't know, like I mentioned before, diseases. So what do you think? You think, okay, New York City versus Texas. Texas has had this issue for a long time, the southern states, Southwest. But I think we have a different class of people coming in besides the migrants. We have people from China. How do you is China? Are they like Are they south of the border or what? It's the
Well,
Middle
I've
East.
heard also about that too. I mean, I read one article about it a couple of months ago, vague, that they're also coming across it. The news coverage is not covering the fact that you have Chinese immigrants coming over the border. They're not covering that for some reason. I don't know why.
Right, but I do know that they have police stations around the country.
Right. There was a police station in New York,
Yeah,
and
and they all take the same path, the same exact path to the same place,
mhm.
and people have tracked them where they're going, and it's really scary because they're not our. It's not right. Middle Eastern people from Syria, wherever, they're here too. I mean, they're coming across. So what? My question is, where in the world are the border patrol agents? Why did they let them through? They're obviously not from Mexico or any other country down south.
Well, there
There's
was
no
a border agent that tried to return an migrant family back to the border, and he got penalized for it.
Yeah, this is
So,
okay.
I
All right,
mean,
now you're getting into policy.
that's what's happening right now because they really want these votes.
Oh
That's what I'm
man,
saying. They really want these votes bad, and
they
I'm
don't
just
need their votes. Number one, because it just make up more votes that they don't have that don't exist. Just like what 1 to 3, 2 o'clock in the morning,
mhm.
it flipped. That tells you a lot. So I don't think there's any hope. I think it's going to be the same every year. I don't think, or every 4 years, even
I
with the
just
year.
I mean I voted for Bush. I voted for Obama. Um, I tried voting for Trump, but it's just the fact, you know,
Mhm.
you start to see it all, and it's like, man, they're all dirty,
Yes, they are.
and it's just it's gonna be like The Walking Dead around here, man. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crime. People are gonna have to band together, small groups. I mean, it's really it's really gonna be scary times when things really hit the fan. You will have people will get tribal. You will have different groups. You will have crime and
Yes, and their blood is thicker than your blood in their minds.
right.
Yeah, that sounds like a dangerous turn of events coming up. And I know there's crime already. I hear because I listen to New York radio station all the time. I love it because not because it's New York, because it's entertaining,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of stuff I learned there. But I hear what's going on, and I hear all the moves that Eric Adams is making
Hmm.
in New York City. And Kathy Hochul, oh my goodness, how can you stand it there? It's, you got
Oh man, Kathy
you
Hope.
got insane people running. You got people
Oh
running this place. The whole state. You guys are doomed. They don't
man,
care.
she tried to have internment camps, man. She tried to have it like Nazi Germany, man. She was trying to fight that they could lock you up for anything. If they feel you are sick, they could lock you up for anything.
Wow, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, you can look it up, man. I
So you
mean,
got, one thing though. I mean, I know I don't know if you like this guy, but Curtis Lee was on it. He's going to all those places protesting. Um, all these migrants coming in, and they're trying to take the schools from the kids.
yeah, that's what they're doing too. They're trying to close down the schools and give it to the migrants.
Yeah, and then now, okay, like some of the hotels are ruined for good. They're unrepairable.
Hmm.
Okay, why would you even think about doing that? And you have no plan. That's why they call Eric Adams swagger man with no plan.
I
Because
mean,
the guy's not doing anything for anybody but himself, right?
hmm
Just like the mayor of Chicago. Somebody's paying these guys. They got to be paying these guys to do this. They have to.
that's what I'm thinking, man. They work for Biden. They're doing whatever Biden wants. He wants these migrants in there because he wants to have another term.
Yeah, right. So, what do you think about Fannie Willis, her ordeal?
Um, well, I mean, when I first heard about it, I was like, there's nothing to it. But then when Trump was talking about a lover, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
oh man. And then I was like, maybe he's just shooting in the dark. Then it came out that she was messing with some married man that was getting a divorce, and
Yeah.
man, and it's just like, hey, I'm not somebody who's gonna be like, I'm not on that, get Trump train.
Right.
Because both sides are just annoying
Oh
to me.
yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay. This Fannie Willis thing. This guy's a prosecutor with no experience.
Right.
And they spent almost $1 million on their little travel trips and his payment for trying to persecute. So this guy, both of them need to go to jail.
Period.
There's public money for this. Don't they make enough money on their own? She's got to make at least 250, 500,000.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. My thing is like, I just don't understand how you could just do something like that. I mean, you're in public eye, and why would you? There's something wrong here, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe with high profile women.
Yes.
Did you feel like you can't get anybody better, so you have to get somebody that's below your pay grade? I don't know.
She's above the law. That's why they get away with a lot down there in Atlanta. Just with the extra ballots, all that stuff they let happen. Yeah. So in their minds, I don't know. Sometimes you get that complex where there's no way you can lose. You're on top, but not everybody. She's not a congressman or senator, so I don't know what she was thinking. So
that's what I'm saying. And the fact of the matter is, you're dealing with somebody like Trump, who could be very vindictive, who has a cult following, and you thought that you were gonna get away with this, doing your dirt. You're prosecuting somebody, and you're doing dirt like this. I mean, I don't know what she thought was going to happen. I don't. And Trump is not somebody, I'm excited to,
yes,
to be president, because the fact of the matter is, he's had situations where he could have fixed race relations, but he didn't. With the Central Park 5 situation, you could have, made an apology, but no, you want to side with Linda Fairstein, the person that sent those 5 boys away.
Wow. Yeah.
These 5 boys were exonerated because the real rapist, Matias Reyes, confessed to the crime, and DNA matched with the blood of that victim. So you could have smoothed over race relations easily. You could have done that, but you wanted to fan the flames and cause more division. That's why I say I think presidents are just selected, they're not elected.
Yes, I agree.
I just think that's what his job is, just a script, and he played his script. And also the fact that he's in Israel's pocket, that's just going to make things worse for America. So either way, America's going downhill.
I agree. I have to agree with that. And when I saw the balloons fly over this country, over Alaska, and nobody did anything about it, so I knew this is not right. Something Afghanistan, when that fell apart, I knew that wasn't right. That's unusual. There so many things are happening right now that we should never have seen. It should never have happened, or the response of it, like the border. The border should have been finished. Should have been closed, but Trump could have done that earlier. He could have, and he could have pardoned all the J6ers.
He didn't want to. He pardoned Jared. He pardoned Jared Kushner's father, though.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, the guy is he's there to just sound like he's doing something. I mean, that's what it is. He sounds like he's doing something. He didn't finish the border. The man's a millionaire. I think he's more than a millionaire.
He's a billionaire. Yeah.
Yeah. He could have finished that border if he wanted to within 2 to 3 weeks or a month. He could have finished it, but he didn't.
Right. But you think, okay, you got to add the factor in that when you get that to that level, there are other people at a much higher level than you. And if they say, wait, we got other plans for this, you let it go. I just have to believe that, all these people in Hollywood, these superstars, including, let's see, what's his name? TD Jakes.
Oh, man.
No.
I had to wash my eye. Sometimes you feel like, just think about it. I wash my eyes, wash my ears, just the things you see and hear.
Right. Kirk Franklin, all these people are coming out like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? What kind of world are we living in?
I don't know, man. It's just the thing is, it's like, but it's been that way, man. It's been that way for a while. It's just people are now. People are
We
now
just
waking
didn't
up.
know it, right?
Huh?
We just didn't know it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, you could have known it with TD Jakes. I mean, TD Jakes, he's
Yeah.
he said his speech about, the alphabet lifestyle, how he thought what David and Jonathan were lovers, and Ruth and Naomi were lovers. So I
I
mean,
did not hear that. Oh my gosh. Oh
yeah.
no.
I mean, Kenneth Copeland, that guy
Yes.
is having blood
Oh,
ceremonies in front of everyone to see. So you looking at that, it's just like, okay, yeah, this,
what kind of ceremonies?
huh?
What kind of ceremonies did he have?
Blood. He was pricking his finger with blood.
Oh, that's right. And
Yeah,
they were like putting their fingers together. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. But the
Yeah,
thing is, like,
that's not normal.
it
That's not
isn't.
communion.
But I mean, most of these churches are Freemasonry anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's a long, it's everybody's connected, man. I mean, the church, the presidency. I mean, even
Yeah.
with the LGBT thing. I mean, you got them on both sides. You got Rob Smith. You got, what is it? That other guy, I forgot, Dave Rubin. You got Blair White. That's
Yeah.
Blair White's not a woman. That's a transformer. And you had Trump, yeah, and you had
Yes.
Trump. He has the alphabets for Trump, so they're the same
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's only two teams, us and them.
That's it, basically. And people keep thinking that he actually is for the people. He's not. He's not for the people. The man, you could look into Gavi Alliance and Trump. You could,
Gabby Alliance. Okay.
yeah, you could look into the Operation Warp Speed and what
Right.
really was going on with that. And people have to look at the fact that he signed those Noahide laws,
Mm-hmm.
but every president has signed since
Yes.
Carter.
I've heard that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of the things, and that is under the Hasidic, Orthodox, Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to code. I'm really trying to code these words because I know how I know how YouTube is.
Right.
And it's a growing Noahide movement that they don't talk about overseas. That they have, it's a growing movement, and they're really, whenever they have that opportunity, they're going to enforce those laws on people.
Wow.
I mean, you could also go on TikTok. They show it, and it, the Hasidic Jews, they're proud to say it, man. They're proud to say, you don't live the way we want you to live, they will behead you. I mean, they literally have a Sanhedrin, a literal Sanhedrin.
Wow.
And
Wow.
scary stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. But there's more of us than them, so
that doesn't matter. I mean, right. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but it doesn't matter. I mean, look what happened 3 years ago. People, you couldn't buy anything, you couldn't eat unless you had the solution. And look, most people caved under that. So
yeah, I never did.
It's gonna happen again.
The reason I did not take the shot had nothing to do with anything, but in the military, that's all you do. And I got to the point where I'm out now. I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not going to do it. So,
you should hear they won the lawsuit. The military veterans that were kicked out of the.
Yes, well, it's too late now. A lot of them have been out too long, or whatever, or they're fighting them back. But why would you go back if you got something else going on?
Yeah,
just to get your retirement. But me personally, that's even flu shots are a turn off for me. That's a no for me forever. So I don't do it. Yeah. But that's just my preference. And then they were telling us we had to have them, but then they realized we're going to lose all our people. So they're like, everybody's good. And that's my right. It's basic rights. It's a violation of your freedoms. That's the thing.
All right.
If you want to do it, you can go ahead and do it. But there's really I know what to do. I do a little medical hacking on the side. So I knew I wouldn't catch it. Okay. I knew I was good. Mm-hmm. So, but just one thing, the fact that they said, and I had somebody tell me well, if you don't get it, you're more likely to spread the disease. So I told this guy, I said, well, molecules on anything aren't different, whatever the material is. So if you're carrying it and you have the shot, it doesn't matter. You're going to get somebody infected. So there's no difference between infecting people and not. If I don't have it, I'm not going to infect anybody. So I know to stay home. It's just things didn't make any logical sense. So I was like, nope, I'm good. I was willing to let go, but they realized that it was going to be a disaster for them. So the logic prevailed, and I stood my ground on that. But you got to be your own person. You got to make your own decisions. Otherwise, there might be other consequences that unforeseen. Because it was experimental, I just didn't want to do it. I'm sure you felt the same way.
Yeah, I mean, things like what helped me is like when I first caught, the bug, I started doing my own research, and I started finding out, what was going on, how they would start censoring platforms and stuff, and look what happened. People started getting kicked off of platforms.
Yes.
People starting, people were fired from their jobs, and that was enough for me not to take it. And then I started digging even more, and I found out what people were suffering with. You have all these young athletes; they're all, passing away young.
Yeah. It's avalanching this year already. A lot of people were dying, but I lost 4 or 5 cousins. They all had like bleeding from the mouth, bleeding from the nose, heart attacks. And it was alarming. It was very scary. I'm not saying that did it, but they all took the shot. Just saying. So yeah, it's very sad, very sad. This was not a good year a couple of years ago.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Oh yeah. But going back, okay, the difference between Texas and New York City, everybody carries Texas.
It's a carry state.
So my question for you is, are the migrants going into the houses while people are on vacation in New York City and taking over? Like they do in Texas?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, but I do know the fact of the matter that is going to be contemplating having the migrants, people are trying to incentivize migrants living with them. And you will have some people possibly in the projects who will do that because they don't have, not all, but some people, they just think of the money. Okay. They go into survival mode. They don't care who gets hurt in the process. They just think of the money.
Right.
So some people in the lower economic class, they will do that. They're not thinking about their safety. And this is something that's been happening even when in the Obama administration. All right. There was a man trusted a migrant, and that migrant killed his family. So this is something that's been going on. They had MS-13.
Wow. Yeah.
This is something that that's been happening for a while.
Yeah, I noticed. I've seen those reports, the MS-13 in New York City and different places.
Right.
And how it's just amazing how they get in, how they got that. Go to those people. I mean, it's been happening for a while. Yeah, I remember that. So I do know that I've had people in my program from Texas, and they tell me if you go on vacation, you come back, somebody's going to be freeloading in your house. The migrants will be. So nobody leaves. Nobody goes on vacation if they don't have to, because they'll be eating their food and using electricity. So I'm assuming I'll look for that New York City area and see if that's happening. I know same thing in like Seattle. Yeah, they're taking over everywhere. The Somalians, when they came.
Oh, I didn't know about the Somalians.
Under Obama, Columbus, North Columbus, North Central Columbus. You think you're in Africa.
Right.
And then Minneapolis is the same way. But they brought them over here on purpose. But at the same time, I think you have to want to come over here and work to get over here. This is why we have immigration laws. So everything is suspended, or nobody cares anymore. They're just letting everybody on board. come on through the border. You don't know who it is, who's coming in. That's the scariest thing. It's the safety of the public. Doesn't mean anything anymore. So it's kind of sad, you know. We don't know what's going to happen. It's some kind of big black swan event. It's going to. I don't know. I don't know. But it seems pretty ripe for that. And the more the people you bring in, the more angry the people in New York. And I don't know. I got to ask you this: in New York City, and I heard this, that a lot of Democrats are going to vote Republican in the next election.
That I heard about.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
people are getting fed up with it because they're not really doing. And I think it's also the fact of the matter is when it came to the Ukraine-Russia situation, how
Yes.
it finally came out. It finally came out that the Democrats were supporting neo-Nazis from Ukraine. And a lot of times when you talked about that,
Mhm.
people would censor you. But then
Right.
finally, someone came up to a AOC and they got fed up and they just grilled her on the spot. Why are you guys supporting neo-Nazis?
Yes. Yes. I know about the Nazis there, and I know they're up to no good. And I think we got hoodwinked on that, or they want to do it on purpose. They don't care. But I think B is the answer.
Yeah. Because you
I
have them
believe,
out there.
yeah. Yeah.
And they're also in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's been rumors of discrimination by the Ukrainian refugees against blacks over there.
Wow.
I mean, the Ukrainians, migrants, they're really causing a lot of problems. And wherever they go, they cause a lot of problems. People take them in, especially the women. They're breaking up homes. They are, you tell them, like, can you please just wash a plate, help out in the house. That happened to a lady in Europe. She just asked the lady to please just pull your weight, help out with the chores around here. She called human services on her, and things, thank God, things worked out in that lady's favor because she would have lost her license.
Wow.
But this is how it's going on with these, with the migrant situation, whether it's Ukrainian, whether it's the Chinese, or whether it's the Spanish migrants coming over here. And I had an article here I just found with New York City signs $77 million contract with hotels to house migrant families.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's dated January 24th, 2024. The city has finalized a nearly $77 million emergency contract to shelter migrant families at 15 hotels in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. Officials said Wednesday. The hotels will reserve rooms for asylum-seeking families for up to 28 days under the contract with the Hotel Association of New York City. The spokesperson for the city's Department of Housing, Preservation, and Development confirmed. Rooms will be available through the month of July. The hotels are meant as a backup plan if space runs out at city shelters. After 28 days, families who are still seeking shelter will be directed to the city's humanitarian emergency response and relief centers to receive another placement. HPD spokesperson said the contract will give the city the time and space to negotiate future rates as officials continue to respond to the migrant crisis. New York City has led the nation in responding to the national humanitarian crisis, providing compassion, care, and shelter and vital services to more than 170,700 migrants who have come up through our care since spring 2022. The spokesperson said in a statement, thanks to around-the-clock work of city workers, we've ensured every single family with children has a bed to sleep and a roof over their heads while working to reduce costs and help people move out of the shelter and stabilize their lives. The contract allows the city to negotiate competitive rates as we continue to respond to the unprecedented crisis, the spokesperson added. The contract comes a little over a year after the Adams administration inked a $275 million deal with the same hotel association to house at least 5,000 migrants. The mayor has repeatedly called on the federal government to provide more aid to New York City to help cover migrant-related costs. The Biden administration last year allocated $140 million to New York to address the situation. The state budget proposal Governor Kathy Hochul unveiled earlier this month Meanwhile, includes $2.4 billion to house migrants without homes and help them apply for asylum or work.
They're not going to do that. They don't care. They don't need asylum. They're already there.
They need to go home. That's what they need to do. They need to go home.
Exactly. And this is supposed to be a good thing, right? Is it? So, okay. The problem with this not enough. What are you going to do next month? What are you going to do next year? You're not going to have enough people, not room. I mean, how are you going to do this? This is insanity. They're going to keep coming. What is it? 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 a day.
Right.
How in the world they can't keep up this pace? They're going to have, it's going to be an abandoned city in the next 2 years or so. It just doesn't seem like it's ever going to work out.
People are going to have to try and move to New York State. That's what they're going to have to do.
Yeah, right. A lot of people are leaving, going to Florida, not putting up with it anymore. If you can afford
Florida is worse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about the crime in Florida. You have to watch. It's bad over there.
Guess it depends on where you go.
Yeah, but in Florida, people already said that you have to have your head on a swivel. Of course, there's places that are safe.
Yeah,
but you're going to have issues there too. They said it's very dangerous. The crime is up.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, there's some great places down there, and then there are other places that are not. So I guess it's everywhere. Just like Cleveland, Ohio, is a very dangerous city in Ohio. The number one. Yeah, that's so they have no plan, pretty much. Just use the hotels. That's what hotels are for. Nobody's going to stay there after that. Those hotels are probably going to be ruined or renovated. I don't know if they're getting paid. I'm sure they are, but it's just not a plan.
The thing is like what's going to happen with the tourists? People, hotels run on tourism,
right? And and just like this government cannot take the place of an economy by demand.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to give these people so much money, and then nobody can get in there after that. They're going to go under. They got to go under unless they have another plan. Who's going to stay at the hotel? I mean,
they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about that. All they're thinking about is housing these people. Not thinking. I mean, what is the plan to get them to go home?
There is none, because you listen to Eric Adams when he talks. We have now found a new place to go, and we're going to put them in here. And then people are like, you can't put them there. That's our school. You can't put them in schools. They want the school kids to be in the same place as the migrants, like in the gym.
Now they're going to have child abuse crimes.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Yes, I totally agree. It's so. How can you even? I don't understand that. I mean, they must be getting a lot of money. I just say that they must be getting a lot of money. I know that Adams can't get much money in this. Oh, you got a picture. Is that him?
Yeah, I was trying to share the article where I was.
Okay, let's do that.
Trying to share
this to stage.
You got it?
Yep, it's up there.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah. And you got like Kathy Hochul. This was October 2nd, 2023. She announces 18,000 jobs available for asylum seekers and migrants as part of the statewide initiative to move individuals out of shelter and into independent living. She's going to try and bring them into New York State. That's what she's going to do. Hello?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, no. I hear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. This is insanity.
People are going to have to, find a way to, if they can move, try to move out of New York City or move to New York State. That's what they could do.
That's hard to do. That's her whole life is there, and you got to move. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to make some changes because these people are not caring about you. They're following an agenda. You could just see the agenda. Yes. They're all following an agenda to let New York City burn.
Right. So places like here in Ohio, things are we don't have this issue yet. I don't know if we ever will, because Ohio doesn't really. I mean, people fought the the other groups that came here, because they're in the neighborhoods and everything. But I don't think this is going to be an issue yet. But eventually, it'll have to be. They'll be everywhere because there's no room to put them. There's no way they can use these resources. They can share the resources in New York City, and then the jobs and everything else. Because if you're here and you don't have a job, we're just going to keep paying for them to stay there for free. I know they're trying to get work permits and everything, but take care. I mean, if you got a problem with your government, take care of the problem with the government. It's got to be some other solution than this. But it's not their. It's really, you think about it, it's really not their fault. It's the people who open the border and invite the people in, bypassing people who have been waiting for years to get to this country.
And they're getting in here illegally.
Yes.
But like I said, it's a bipartisan effort. People want to think it's just the Democrats. No, it's the Republicans, because the Republicans love cheap labor.
Yeah.
Both sides love cheap labor. I don't have to pay you as much as I would pay an American-born citizen or a person who has got their citizenship the right way. So that's what they're going to do.
It'll be cheap up front, but I think there's a bigger cost behind it.
Yeah, they don't care. They're living in a mansion, a gated community.
Yes. Yes. Wait till the gated community, the gate is broken. Just wait. There are people coming into people's houses or knocking on their doors looking for stuff or trying to come in.
Right.
That's just a different mindset. Completely. It's not the American way. We don't do things that way.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, America's showing more that, it never was that way. It was about, the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
Everything about it's coming down. It's showing that it's a lie. That's what's coming.
Yep. Totally. So it's going to happen. So Eric Adams looks a little bit like Dave Chappelle on that photo.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just doing a lot of great acting, because you have to believe what you're saying out of your mouth to be this type of a person that, letting your people suffer.
Exactly.
And I'm not talking about just Black people. I'm talking about New Yorkers, period. Oh, yeah. You know what could happen, and you're letting it. You have to be, a special type of, you just want to fit in.
Yeah, because he's like beholden to the Turkish government and other places, other countries. So we don't know what's going to happen next. We just don't know. There's these connections, you know what I mean? You talk to these people, next thing you know, they're sending a bunch of people over through the border or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. All kinds of deals are happening. But I'm pretty sure he's been investigated for that. So he might be gone. And I know, because Cuomo is actually staging his, doing all the things he has to do to run again. Sorry about that.
But he's facing he's facing these being accused of sexually assaulting 13 young women. So I don't.
But he's the elite. doesn't apply to him because he should be in jail.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's not in jail means he's good. Just like
how is he running though? But how? Because the fact of the matter is with him, okay, a lot of senior citizens died under his watch.
And he's still running free. That's the thing. He's that level where he's untouchable. And unfortunately in this country, just like Hunter Biden, nothing's going to happen. But they'll go after Trump any day. And Trump is a Democrat, was a Democrat. He probably still is.
I mean, Trump is down with them. I mean, I just think it's just a big.
Yeah.
I think it's a big script, but there are rumors of the fact. Well, I forgot Matt Gaetz. He was talking about how the liberals are greenlighting his unaliving Trump, and then you got Alex Soros, the son of George Soros, saying that Trump needs to be taken out as well.
Yes.
So,
But he did go to Davos.
huh?
He did go
Yeah,
to Davos.
he did go to Davos. That's what I'm saying, that they're all in it. And maybe, Trump is just a person that he doesn't want to play ball. He wants to do things his way.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it goes into conspiracy theories, but you're looking at some things. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's all adding up. I mean, those Illuminati cards from 1998, where they had a
Yeah.
card where it talks about enough is enough. It had Trump's face on it. You had Trump on The Simpsons in a glass coffin.
Because
And
it's it's already ordered.
right.
Yep. This is how the Simpsons know what's going on. It's not anything magical. They are in on it. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't want to talk over you. You were saying? I mean,
no, you're good. No, you're
yeah.
good.
I just, it's just something. It's wild, man. I mean, they even have like an Illuminati card with two men being hanged, and one says, "I said the wrong term, the wrong noun."
Wow.
Yeah, and look what's happening now. I mean, you
Yeah.
make the wrong. How do I say this? The wrong pronoun, and you lose your job. In some cases, you may go to jail. In some countries.
Right. Right. That is true. Yes, I agree. Yeah. 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 So this is getting our conversation is getting deeper and deeper. So, but that is
Yeah,
interesting. I've never heard that before. I've never
yeah.
heard that. Wow. I never put that together. I thought, well, how are the Simpsons doing this?
I would be thinking about that
Now it
too. I
makes
mean, the
sense.
Simpsons knew about 9/11. The Simpsons knew about certain things. A certain about like they had this one episode where all the newscasters and all the big media personalities came together, right? And said,
Yeah.
"What do we need to get the public on our side? We'll have a new pandemic." And they
Whoa.
tested out this drug. They tested out this disease. Get over here, NBC. And they got the head of NBC, and he took it, and he was wheezing all over the floor, and everybody's like, yeah, this is great, okay.
Wow. That's wow. Okay. That makes more sense now. Ah, wow. We're going down and we're in the rabbit hole now. We're deep in the rabbit hole. Yeah, very interesting. The things that are happening. So yeah, I always question that. What is Trump going to do next, or what's he up to? Versus okay. There's a lot of theories out there, and I don't know if anything from Q is actually happening. I'm just saying there are things that are happening that are like, what is going on? Because now it seems like coming toward the election, everything's falling apart for the opposition to Trump, which is kind of like the timing is like, what? This is
And plus
election
you got
year.
like Biden saying he wants to drop out of the race. Then you got what is it? Shucks, I forgot his name. Oh man, the people that call him Trump Light.
So,
Uh,
oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're talking about Robert Ramaswamy.
no, not Trump. No, not him. I forgot the
Bannon.
guy. We were just talking about him. He runs Florida, governor of Florida.
Oh, okay. DeSantis.
DeSantis.
Yeah.
They call him Trump Light, and he's backing out all of a sudden for Trump to leave.
Yeah.
And then Trump's talking about reaching out to Robert F. Kennedy to be his VP.
Right. Right. I've heard some bad things about RFK.
It's
I heard some bad things about him.
Yeah.
And
He's
DeSantis. Yeah. Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying like, yeah, I mean, Robert F. Kennedy had a hard life, and people have lost their lives because of him.
Yeah.
I mean, one person is one of his wives, but that is I don't trust anyone, because my thing is like, why would you want to run? Why would you want to be in the White House?
Right.
If you're Kennedy and these people have caused you so much pain, why would you want to be in the White House?
So I live in the White House, by the way, just saying. So I'll tell you what, Yeah, that's a big. That would be like the scariest thing in the world, being the president. That'd be the scariest thing. You have
Yeah,
no idea. If people don't like you, they won't like you. You're done. So, um,
I
but
wouldn't. I wouldn't even say that. It's just the fact that you're in a I mean, I do believe in the conspiracy theories about the White House. I'm sorry, people look at
yeah,
me weird. That you don't know, nobody in there runs the White House. The
right,
people
right.
that be run that White House. So
Yes, I agree.
if you want to be in there, then you have to be just as evil as them. That's how I see it. And if you know,
Yeah, right, right. They're
yeah,
all and they're all kind of related. So
right,
through the
that too.
years, and then if you're going to be Congress, so I've heard some horror stories from people who ran for Congress or Senate. Um, so you're not your own person. You work for the people in power. You do not work for your state.
Hmm.
And the whole purpose of going there, this is why Congress is becoming its own institution of power. But when you notice that, like when Hunter showed up, and he went away, nobody arrested him. So there are
Hmm.
people above the law. Hunter is above the law. There's a lot of people above the law. Like Gates, accused for like dating an underage girl, then it disappeared.
She what?
No, it disappeared. The whole thing.
Oh, I thought you said she disappeared. I'm like, oh, wow.
No,
I
she's
mean,
still around.
oh,
But
okay.
but you can um, like I don't know. Seems like they're selective. You know who's in and who's out. That's all I have to say. Who's in on it?
Hmm.
The people that get away with whatever they have to do. The people lying and all kinds of stuff, and supporting Hamas in Congress and supporting the wrong people, and they're still there. So, and they all have top secret clearances, which they never had an investigation, which kills me because I had to go through a lot to get my clearance.
Hmm.
These people, here you go, here's your clearance, and they got Chinese spies living with them and driving their cars, and their wives own some kind of big freight company or something from China, and they're not even national. So stuff like that they can do is anti-American, in my opinion. I think they're it's just like DC is not even part of America. It's not even American soil.
Hmm.
I don't know if you knew that. It's
Columbia, right?
District of Columbia is they're saying it's Vatican and some other thing. It's not part of the U.S. So all the prison guards for J6ers are Africans, most of them. They're not even U.S. citizens. It's
Hmm.
just a really unique thing. Um, you got the Fed and everything. So yeah, it's very very insulated from reality. So so that's the guard. They could or the they treated the guard guys or the army people like dirt. Some of them did. I know there's a guy who was there. He came back and he was saying they treated him like dirt. The congressmen and senators did.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just not the same. I've been to that area for work and different things, and it's like it's just not right because you have all that symbolism, all these evil, you know what I'm saying, the monuments and things like that. It's something's not right about it, and the owl shaped roads and all this stuff. So we'll have to
And
get a
and the occult connections, like
yes,
the obelisks and everything like that, they're all
yes,
connected.
right, like it's some kind of ancient Egypt or something.
Right.
But of course, then again, you have the transgenders, and
Mhm.
at the White House on the lawn. I thought that was the most despicable thing when I saw that.
Mhm.
Are you kidding me? What? Oh, this is not. And it was authorized by the guy, the big guy. So and he embraced it, and it's just like people taking their clothes off. That's crazy. That's Babylon right there. That's Babylon.
So that's what they that this is what's happening. I mean, people
Yes.
are just want to be blind to it and think there's nothing wrong with it. But you
Right.
got I think that the way things are going, people are really showing themselves.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't show themselves years ago, but now that
Oh
Biden
yeah.
was in office, it's coming more and more blatant.
Yeah, and this starts, we didn't know anything about this until the pandemic came, what they were teaching the kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting away with it because the parents, I mean, the kids are home doing their homework, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody knew until then what was really going on. And it's kind of sad. Um, so there's like things happening. And I do know I graduated in 2017
Mm-hmm.
from college, and stuff they were teaching the kids, I saw it firsthand and I saw what they were talking about. And it's like you're being strong armed into believing what they say. And the kids want to get the good grades. So it, it was uh, it was mostly the urban kids, but the rural kids did not fall for it. They didn't have anything to do with it. They're like, nope, I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're pushing this uh, Marxism and communism big time, even in stats classes. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane, And then they're like, everybody wants to vote for Bernie Sanders or was it Clinton at the time? But they put this mindset in the kids. A lot of these kids are believing it, they're buying it. And so when they get out, this is why we're having this issue. So now you have these, I'm not calling them degenerates, but you have people who are putting down our republic, putting down democracy, putting down all this stuff, learning that from educators. So you get that all for all years you're in college, you hear that all the time. And they're protesting out on the lawn, and people are wearing, guys are wearing like dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not good for our society. That's not how we're supposed to be. And this is like blatant in your face, unfortunately. See, we're seeing that in the country now because it wasn't like that in the 90s. It was not like that. This is just bubbling up, and this is good. The consequences of this are not going to be good. And you see the kids today. The kids are turning out differently now, unless they have a really good, strong foundation. People are turning so I don't know what to say. So outside of the norm of our culture or our traditions, and I'm worried about that. What are your thoughts?
Well, the thing is like that was the goal the whole time. And
Mm-hmm.
what they're trying to separate the bond between parent and child, so the children could be more molded by the government
Right.
than by
Yes.
the parents. Because if they're molded by the parents could have some say and say, uh, could say this is wrong what they're doing, and they're having. This is what's going on. They do it through the cartoons as well.
Yes.
They do it. This is why you have to be careful with your kids watching certain cartoons. You have to be careful with your kids watching certain things because they're putting it in the cartoons as well. They're putting it like same-sex relationships.
Wow.
They are
I
putting,
didn't know that.
yeah, they're trying to sneak that in. They have these little Disney-ish cartoons now, and they're
Yeah.
they're trying to impute that into the children. Even with Japanese anime, they are putting
Really?
that. Yeah, they're putting like Sailor Moon. I never watched Sailor Moon when I was younger. Okay, but then when I found out on an expose that these like teenage cartoon characters were dating older men, and that
Wow.
is what they're trying to push onto the children. Like some of these Japanese animes have pedophilia in it,
Man. No
and this is what
way.
they're trying to do. They're trying to brainwash,
So they want to
you,
normalize that behavior.
right? And this is probably not even from the LGBT side. This is it's just regular
Yeah.
cultural anime and stuff. But the American cartoons that they have, yeah, they're trying to push that. American cartoons that they have for your kids, like during the mornings or afternoon after you bring them back from daycare, that's
Mm-hmm.
what they have in there as well.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Like
sad.
two daddies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it's really going to be a culture war. and parents are going to have to step up. Unfortunately, you have parents, and unfortunately, you do have single mothers that are for this type of behavior. They're okay with their kid, like Joey wants to be Joanne. They're okay
Yeah.
with that,
Wow.
unfortunately. And this is in the urban communities too. You have,
Wow.
like, they don't, like, they're maybe so bitter against their child's father that they want to erase every bit of their child's father they see in their son. So if it means
Wow.
putting them to something that could be life altering and could possibly lead to them taking their own life one day, they don't care.
Wow. So let me ask you this. Okay. So we got, you see this in the at the White House with the health secretary and Pete Buttigieg. So the funniest thing in the world is watch Pete with a fake boobs on. You know, he's taking what leave, maternity leave. The two guys, first of all, nobody had the baby. What are they doing? They have the right to do it, right?
Just because you have the right to do it doesn't mean you should.
Right. What are you taking the leave for? The baby's not yours.
Yeah.
It's none of yours. You can't even go to, oh, this is just crazy. I can't believe I'm talking about this.
Yeah, they had Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin was doing the same thing. I mean, he got him and his boyfriend have adopted a baby. And the thing is, like, what they don't want to talk about is the high child abuse rate with these
Yes, right.
same-sex couples. There was a couple in Atlanta, Georgia, part of Atlanta, and they were pimping out 2 twin foster boys. And
What?
they got caught. Yeah, they got caught. And what burned my blood is when one of the couples was saying, how could they hate us for this? How could they hate us? I just want people to stop hating us. I'm like, I literally, wanted to just grab that person's neck and squeeze and just squeeze and
Well,
just because this is why Russia banned same-sex couples from adopting children, because of stuff like this.
wow.
Now,
Whoa.
Putin has his ways. Don't get me wrong. Putin got
Right.
his way. I believe that he got Petrogin assassinated. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
because Putin is a dictator. He
Yeah.
wants but other than that, the way he runs Russia, I can't knock him. He keeps that stuff knocked down.
Yes, he does.
And even if it does, if the alphabet lifestyle goes around, they know not what they can and can't do.
Right. That's the way it used to be. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the thing is like people will say, like, well, you're phobic, you're angry,
Well,
you hate them. No, it's the fact of the matter is it all happened in steps. Okay, there's a reason why in Africa right now, there's a death penalty for them. The reason why is because they know what's the end game. They want your kids.
Isn't that where Biden wanted the Congo to accept that lifestyle?
I thought he wanted
No.
Uganda, Gambia to accept.
Uganda? Yeah. And they said, no, leave us alone. Well, we're going to take money from you. What kind of sense does that make? We don't want your money then. This has been so chaotic these last 3.5 years. It's been chaotic.
It has been. And, people had to fight back. And when I saw that he was, Obama, when he was president, he tried to introduce that to Kenya. And Kenya was like, we got other pressing issues. We got more pressing issues to worry about. We're not having that.
Right. Yep.
And my thing is what gets me kind of upset when it comes to CRT. I understand wanting Black history be taught as American history. I understand that. But my problem is like, you are wanting that at the expense of these kids, because with CRT comes queer theory. And when I talked about that with people on Facebook, other Blacks would say, it's not that serious. They should have queer theory. I'm like, are you serious now?
Wow.
And this is why
Yeah.
I'm pro-Black, because you're not understanding the communist. This is why I said the civil rights was a failure. The civil rights movement was not a success. It was a failure. It was a communist movement.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. And you had people like Bayard Rustin, who was a homosexual, and Martin Luther King, and they were having orgies and stuff. And Bayard Rustin was
I heard about that.
You know, you can't tell me you're for civil rights and you having somebody that practices a degenerate lifestyle that also wants to fight for his civil rights. And you see what's happening now. You want people. I mean, I'm sorry. You see what's happening now. You have people fighting for the right to man on man, and now they're fighting for man and children relationships.
Oh yes,
all stemming from the civil rights movement.
Yeah, so that's funny you mentioned that, because I've said this all along. On the backs of blacks, they do everything.
Right.
They promote the LGBT, all that stuff. They took our rainbow flag and all that. So because blacks don't say anything, well, we're just like them.
Well, we say something, but the thing is that you get shut down.
Yes.
You know, you are being phobic. You're not for the culture. You're not for the. You're not for the struggle. I am for the struggle. What I'm trying to tell you that this type of stuff harms any community. It takes 30 years off your lifespan as a male.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are committing suicide after they get the surgeries and everything. Yeah. It's a big epidemic now. It messes with you. You can't reverse what they do. Okay. What's made that decision?
It depends on certain things. Well, certain things you could, but I mean, you get the surgery. That's not reversible.
Right. Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah. And a lot of them, they do self-deletion. And even, the alphabet lifestyle. I mean, like I said, it takes 30 years off your lifespan. You're you get all types of diseases, and people. And when I've talked to blacks about this on other social media, they get very, very angry.
Really?
They do. Okay. They get very angry. Like, you are phobic. You don't know what you're talking about. And guess the thing, in the heat of the argument, there was one guy that was agreeing with me when I was telling him about the fact that you'll get rectal cancer, you'll get mouth gonorrhea, and no, the straights get those. I think he took the words out of my mouth when he said the people who practice these types of lifestyles the most are the homosexuals, and they're the ones who are dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the other people, women, and these were two black women, were yelling, "No, he's not right. He's not right." But you got somebody telling you could look this stuff up. And
CNN.
CNN. I mean, I don't even trust Fox News sometimes.
I don't either. I don't watch that. I won't watch news.
Right. You just have to look it up, and the fact that the American the American, what is it? The APA, the American Psychiatry Association was hijacked by them, and this is why we got the mess that we have going on right now.
Wow.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Because it was labeled a mental illness, but then they got hijacked by them, and this is why we're in a situation, and this is why with blacks right now,
mm-hmm.
they're getting murdered because they want to be trans now, and they feel they don't have to identify. They feel like they don't have to tell somebody who they are.
Right. So hey, we got 2 minutes left. Right. Is there anything you want to say? Or anything you want to end the show with?
I hope to come back here. I hope the show is still on.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's okay. You're welcome to come back anytime. Yeah. And I enjoyed having you as a guest. You're very knowledgeable about a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. So I appreciate that. Fantastic. Oh man. So I enjoyed this. This is a really good talk. So, so what are your plans? You tell us about your what you do.
Well, I have a YouTube channel called Hard Talk Radio Live in 4K, and I talk about social and political topics that are affecting our era, our time, and that's basically what I do. And I on other platforms as well, Spotify, and that's about it. That's what I do here, content creator.
So what's the name of your show again?
Hard Talk Radio Live in 4K.
Okay, yeah, you had that up there. Hard Talk Radio. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oops. This is from your Hard Talk. Okay, let's go back. Hard Talk Radio. I'll put that in there.
Yeah.
Well, yep. Typing. Enter. Okay. 10 seconds for radio. See you guys later next week for the radio side. God bless America. Radio show's over. Okay, well, we're still on air right now, but I'm gonna cut us off, and you're welcome to come on anytime you want to talk some more. And I appreciate you being here, and thank you so much.
No problem. No problem.
I'll see you on the web, and I'll
All
be
right.
watching for your show. Thank you very much.
All right. Pleasure being here. Pleasure being here.
Pleasure having you on. Thank you so much.
All right. All right.
All right, we're going to end the show. This is Kevin White, American Legion Show, the Kevin White Show, Blog Talk, PNR. That was Anthony Blaq from New York City. Fascinating conversation. And I am going to shut this off. We're going to cut this down because it is time for dinner. Dinner in Ohio. That means a lot. All right. I better get back to the grill. That's all I have to say. All right. Take care. See you later. Yeah, God bless.